reality of our strengths of knowledge. We're fortunate in Nevada to have easy access to open space, clean air, and all the things that nature provides. We at Nevada Outdoor School want to invite you to join us in exploration of our natural world because we appreciate the positive impact of being outside. Through your generosity to Nevada Outdoor School, we prepare people of all ages to care for themselves and nature through community events and training courses.
My name is Brandon and we're from Boyle Canyon in Elton, Nevada. I have been a part of 2 NOS programs. They're overnight camps in Memorial, and both those camps were really fun, and I learned a lot.
I think what made it so fun is the fact that we actually get to do activities that aren't the everyday school activities. You get to go outside, play games.
Getting kids outside not only increases their chances of being able to be fully independent and confident outside, but also gives them the opportunity to explore things that they wouldn't learn otherwise.
My name's Emily, and I'm right now at the Memorial. I was in an event on Nevada Outdoors outside. I found a school, a couple more bones, and it was lots of fun. I got to play in a vehicle, and right now we're on a little nature hop walk, and we're all taking a break.
Every child who attends a Nevada Outdoor School program leaves better prepared to care for the natural world. To increase accessibility of environmental education, Nevada Outdoor School also offers classroom lessons. As AmeriCorps members teach these lessons they receive on-the-job training and develop valuable work skills such as planning, organizing, and presenting. Your contributions allow Nevada Outdoor School to provide the necessary supplies to the hands of rural Nevada children to expand their outdoor knowledge and skills.
My name is Harmony Stahl, and I teach 3rd grade at Northside. I appreciate having Nevada Outdoor Schools come in, especially as a newer teacher, because they really supplement what I'm doing. It's a nice feeling as a teacher to know that you get to expose your students to all that good quality content, and it doesn't always have to come from the same source. This year, doing virtual learning, we got to do a class on chemical reactions that was adapted to a classroom where everybody had to stay apart. That was really great. And on a personal level, my daughter has done Nevada Outdoor School camps in the summertime, and she had a fantastic time. Never seen her more tired. She came home exhausted from a hike up in the mountains, and she just talked about it for weeks. So it's great to have Nevada Outdoor Schools come in because they have a way of introducing some concepts that the kids can take with them.
If you believe in what we do, visit NevadaOutdoorSchool.org today to start your journey with Nevada Outdoor School by giving your time, outdoor skills, or monetary donations.
Visitors, no matter where you are. This is one of the great principles of regional trade. Thank you.
Well, now my screen is not like on a computer. Yeah, did you want to follow me with that? What's the one? Thanks. There you go. There's the album. There we go. All right. Thank you for the younger generation. Appreciate it. So that's now a little bit about outdoors. Like I said, I could go on and on. We've been doing this for about 20 years now. We do outdoor education in a number of ways. But our Ride Safe, Ride Smart program is what we're here to chat with you guys about today. So we have three components of our Nevada Outdoor School Ride Safe, Ride Smart training program, or we like to say RS2. So if you'll see that on our timesheet, you'll know what that means. One of the components is Ride Safe, Ride Smart day camp activities. We can do that with or without machines. We're actually going to be hosting one of those in Carson City.
November 11th.
Yep, over Veterans Day weekend. The first day is just, I shouldn't say just, it's a camp atmosphere where they learn about riding responsibly and safely. There's games and team building and all that sort of thing. And then the second day, if the child has a machine that they typically ride at home, we'd love to have them come to the second day, which is a hands-on ATV safety rider course. We're going to expand on that as we get going a little bit more in this program, get some more machines, get some borrowed and rented and that sort of thing. But right now, the kids, to be certified, have to bring their own machine that they're driving at home. We can certify on that. Then, of course, we have our OHV safety certification program. We're going to talk about that a little bit more as we get going here. But that is an online course, a couple hours of an online course, and then a rider evaluation and further a rider safety course if needed. And then we have our in-school presentations, and this is sort of our new leg to the program, just to get more education to these kids. So we had a very successful event down in Tonopah with the principal there and the city manager. We're able to hit middle school and high school, and about 208 kids with some ride responsibly education. And down there, I mean, you walk into those, right into that parking lot, and there are side-by-sides and motorcycles and ATVs lined up. That is how they get to school. And so the more education we can get to those folks, the better. What is our goal for this whole program, right? So we went, that's what our grant to the OHV Commission was for this last year, is we said we want to write a Nevada-specific OHV safety program and have it available statewide. We have our own trainers on staff, but eventually we will have trainers across the state that can provide this education. It's for 0 to 99, and we really are, we're the statewide resource here for OHV safety camps, our in-school education, and safety outreach. So guys who have high traffic at a place where you need some outreach materials and outreach booth. For instance, talking to Paul and Mark from the BLM yesterday, you know, we've been out to Sand Mountain in the past. We'd really, really like to have us come out again just to be able to share some of that safety information. Why do we do this? These guys right here, humans, right? Talked about it all weekend long about these fatalities and these accidents. This is why we're doing this. I'm tired of seeing that stuff. I'm tired of seeing kids out there riding these big machines when they aren't even close to being old enough to even have a driver's license. These are large machines and they're dangerous. Kind of our timeline about our OHV safety program. Like I said, we're almost 20 years old now. We were established in Winnemucca in 2003 to provide opportunities for youth to get outside and connect with the natural world. That's really where we started, was with youth and getting them outside. In 2013, we began to provide hands-on ATV safety courses for youth and adults in rural Nevada with ASI safety instructors. So ASI is the ATV Safety Institute. The big reason why we are shifting into our own Nevada OHV safety program is just because ASI has some restrictions and some rules that don't make sense. And the biggest one is age of a child versus size of a child on a machine. We all know that 12-year-olds are not all the same size, right? There's some 12-year-olds that are, 200 pounds, and there's some 12-year-olds that are 70 pounds. And so there's a big, big difference there. So we have ASI safety instructors. That's what Alana is. She's our ATV safety instructor on staff. We also work with our local sheriff's office, the Humboldt County Sheriff's Office, and they have a dirt bike safety instructor and a robot safety instructor on staff. we'll be working throughout the next year. The next grant will be to get more of our people on board, trained to be the robot and dirt bikes, so we're not having to depend on our partners for that. And then again, to be able to train other people to help us provide this. In 2015, I was hoping Sue was here because I'm hoping this is a correct statement. Matthew, you might know, I think Phil gave you this indication, that Malapa Valley was the first OHV-friendly community in Nevada. All right, we're going with it. I think that is correct. There's few that have been following course, and I love it. As an OHV rider, I love it. I love to be able to truck my ATV or my side-by-side down to the gas station or to the trail. You know, I live in rural Nevada. It's perfect for me. But what's happening is now we have more and more of these side-by-sides or even ATVs or dirt bikes or whatever they are interacting with large motor vehicles. And that's where the danger happens right there. I don't, I've said it over and over again, I don't care about the ranch kids, I don't care about the racing kids, I care about the kids that are going out to visit the rancher, and 3 of them have now piled into a side-by-side. They're 8, 9, 10 years old. They don't have the weight to handle the machine, they don't have the knowledge to handle the machine. What happens? They get in an accident, somebody's terribly hurt, and another little girl is living with that for the rest of her life. How bad? Because she was the one driving and responsible. We don't want that for these kids. 2016, we opened a satellite office in Elko, as Lana mentioned, to serve even more rural counties with safe and responsible outdoor recreation opportunities. In 2001, like I mentioned, we were funded through Yamaha Outdoor Access Initiative, Fox Factory Trail Trust, Polaris, and the NOV, Nevada OHV Safety Commission, to develop this statewide OHV program. Something I would encourage to other grantees or that are wanting to apply. This match is important, right? I'm never going to go to the OHV Commission and want them to fully fund something we have going on. It can happen, but it's super beneficial if you have additional match to put into that. And then 2022, here we are, and we are just about ready to launch. But again, I wanted to go over this with you all in this audience today, make sure that nobody has any super concerns about it. Why we do it? I mean, we do this well. Like I said, we're 20 years old now. In 2014, we traveled to Washington, D.C. to receive a White House Champions of Change Award for our effective outdoor education procedures, the way we do things. In 2018, we were recognized at the NOVAC convention and received a special recognition award for our off-road education there. And then most recently in 2020 for the Coalition for Recreation Trails, Tom Petrie Recreation Trails Program, RTP Achievement Award for our communication and education. Our number one goal is to become world-class educators, and we work really, really hard to do so, and I'm super, super proud of that national recognition. Partners, obviously, our Nevada Off-Road Association and the OHV Commission are big supporters, but we also get funding and support from Nevada State Parks. They have been a long-standing partner, and they were actually the first funders to get us into this OHV safety. They were the first ones to buy our first ATV and trailer, etc., and really get us off the ground. Yamaha Outdoor Access Initiative, the Trail Trust from Fox Factory, and Polaris. Those are all 3 new partnerships that we've developed over this last year, who again, it's important to them that we have people out there educated and they're ready. Discount Power Sports is a partner of ours in Elko, and he will let us borrow machines quite often. So it's John and Glenn there is super, super helpful. And then of course Tread Lightly, we've been partners with Tread Lightly for years and years and years, and follow those principles and teach them regularly. Looks like I have a duplicate slide. Ride Safe, Ride Smart, OHV Safety Certification, and our in-school presentations. So this is our basic premise for the OHV safety program, right? Here's what's happening. We're putting on these safety camps, and the kids aren't coming, and the adults aren't coming. And the big reason is because it's not required. It's not required in this state. Probably won't be for quite some time, though we're working towards that. But it's important, right? It's especially important for youth, but it's valuable education no matter what age you are. If you're super lucky to grow up in a family that's been doing this all their life, you're probably going to know most of the safe writing principles, but not all of them, I promise you. But if you're 16 or younger, we want to make sure that you are doing, it doesn't really matter if you're doing a side-by-side and 18 years dirt bike, most of the same safety principles and practices apply. You'll do the online course, it takes about 2 hours. Even with that, if you have any sort of reading comprehension, or if you're a young child and you're reading along with a parent, just that online education, I promised you were going to learn stuff. I did. Alana did. Things that we didn't know, practices we didn't know. It's just good information to have. Did you pass that online course? If you did, then you come to us, you get in touch with us. And if you're a youth, we will do a writer evaluation. So if you say that you're practiced and you've been doing it years and years and all with your family, and you can show us certain things like
Stopping in the middle of a turn.
Stopping in the middle of a turn, being able to reach the pedals, not having to reach way out here. You can't turn like this comfortably without having to get up off your seat. The machine's too big for you, and you're going to have trouble. If you can demonstrate that you can do safe practices, we give you a safety certification. If you're a youth and you can't, then we would recommend to the parent, bring them to do a full safety course, which takes about 4 hours.
If they all have their own machines.
They own their own machines.
2.5.
Okay, 2.5 hours. We have to trade machines and borrow machines and share, then it takes a little bit longer. If you're an adult, same thing. What are you writing? You're going to do the online course. Did you pass? Yes. We can give you a certification. Did you not pass? We're going to recommend that you come do a hands-on writer course. Also hands-on. I got a little ahead of myself. I apologize. So again, we would provide the training for any interested people to do it. Again, right now we're working with ASI, ROVA, and Motorcycle Safety Foundation. As soon as we get this launched, we're going to change a little bit, but not a lot. We're still following a lot of our same safety practices, but there's just a couple things that just literally don't make sense. And then we have to be careful about copyright. So, same thing with you. Same with you. Online course, writer evaluation. Did you pass? Did you not? What is our ultimate goal? Again, I mentioned that these kids aren't taking these classes, they're not taking these courses, they're not required, and their parents don't think it's important. So I need you guys to buy into this and help us promote this, how important it is that these kids get some sort of safety education out there. Our ultimate goal, and I get pushed back all the time, we're working our way through it. Our ultimate goal is that we're able to go to legislation and they make it a law for any youth under 16 driving on public roads has to have a certification, a safety certification, has to go through a course to be legal. Like I said, I don't care about the ranchers, I don't care about the racetrackers, I care about those kids out there interacting with other large vehicles or getting stuck on a railroad track, right? Not knowing what to do. Amazing that guy, this kid on there. And I just have the kid get off the machine and stand aside for a minute. My heart was just like, in my throat when that was happening. And I could just see that train coming down the track. But we think as parents, we're pretty cocky and we think we know a lot. But there's a lot of things that all of us can learn by doing at least the online safety program. What does that look like? So we'll go to Calcme, who is also the company that does the Nevada Department of Wildlife online tag applications, your fishing license, all of that stuff is done through Calcme. So they're very well known and they're pretty good at what they did. Well, they already had what they call a national curriculum We went through the whole thing. We have a committee that we put together, so I'd like to just share that with you too. It wasn't just Nevada Outdoor School thinking we knew all the right answers or what everybody should learn. Matthew was on our committee. We have Eddie Booth, who is a local outdoorsman, who was a prior commissioner on our committee. We had Kevin Malone, who was with law enforcement, a partner, also on the committee. Sue Baker, a prior commissioner. John Glenn from Fifth Gear Power Sports. You know, we had a lot of people in this conversation to make sure that what we were putting out was top quality, was easy to follow, fairly easy to do, and effective. And that's what I think we found with this. So certainly, this is actually what?
Because it's not on that screen.
Oh.
I'll be here till whenever.
Sorry, I'm not even on the screen. I'll have to look at the screen. Oh, my goodness. I apologize, everybody. Lots of certain things, just right off that, I know we are running behind, so I'm not going to go through much of this online course, so I encourage you guys to go along with it. But just simply, some of the simple things that not always do we share with our kids or others when they're starting to ride. Wearing the proper clothing and safety equipment. We have a real, again, we're not going to take a bunch of time, but this is one of the things we use to help teach kids. This is Knox. Knox is Nevada Outdoor School's mascot, Knox the Fox. Anyway, we have a game where we can pin on the certain safety gear, right? So that they can visually see the helmet, the gloves, the boots, the long sleeve shirt, all that sort of thing. We also have a game that we will do at camp where we do like a race. You can see, you can get on all the safety equipment fastest, right? The helmet, the gloves, the long sleeve shirt, the boots, all of that. We have our youth ATV. We have a little camera, a Polaroid camera. That's one of the things too. At an outreach event, we'll have a kid sit on the machine, put on all the safety gear, take a picture. You can go home, put that on the fridge, whatever, share with the siblings, share with his parents, but whatever. Practice, education, same thing over and over and over. Performing a pre-ride inspection. How many of us teach new riders how to do a pre-ride inspection of your machine? So the wheel doesn't fall off in the middle of the trail. I'm just saying. Perform a pre-ride inspection. Maintain a safe speed, and the safe speed may be the speed limit posted, but it also may be the safe speed that you feel comfortable at, right? Same thing with Alana and I yesterday driving the machine. I'm a little bit more experienced in the side-by-side, and so we switched, and she said, I don't go as fast as you do. And I said, you do what's comfortable for you.
Day one was yesterday of me driving a side-by-side. Just want to throw that out there, guys.
Do what you know, if the speed is comfortable, don't get into a speed that is uncomfortable where you're starting to say, oh shit, I'm going to, you know, or what happens? You lose control. All of a sudden the curve comes up, right? Certain things you don't know. Obviously, don't mix alcohol and drugs when driving. That, you know, personal choice. Bring someone along in case something goes wrong, right? Go and choose, please. Practice a correct riding posture too. Same thing with kids, right? If they get on the machine and they're like this, that machine's way too big for them, right? They need to be able to sit at an angle, be able to turn and all this. Have control, physical control of that machine so they don't get into an accident.
go right in and take the quiz and test your knowledge for the fun of it. This is like the study guide that you can and should read over so that you pass the first go around. But
Ride safe and ride responsibly, that's going to be all about tread lightly for sure. But also preparing for the unexpected. This is not something we typically teach, right? We're teaching our kids or we teach new riders and we're all going out together and we want to share our passion and our pastimes. But we don't know how to prepare for the unexpected. So there's risks, right? Using maps, compasses, GPS, because guess what? Your phone doesn't work everywhere, right? We all hopefully know that by now. Training to develop survival skills. What happens if you get stuck out there and you're 50 miles from town and you don't have an air conditioner, you don't have an extra tire? You need to be able to prepare to be able to have to stay out there if that's what you need to do. Coping with extreme weather, all these things. So there's a lot of things that you would imagine or you would think that people would know. There's so many nuances to safe riding, responsible riding, that I think all of us can learn. Even as adults, even as practiced riders. I'm hoping you with the sheriff's office, I mean, you've got to be seeing kids out on these machines, you know, no helmet, going too fast, not in control, and then the accidents happen. So again, why are we doing this? Because we want to keep our people safe. And then Unit 8 is all about observing OHV laws in Nevada. So why do we need to have it? What needs a sticker? What do the stickers look like? What are the laws? We're talking about helmets and all of that sort of thing. And then also DUI laws, right? We had a conversation with our sheriff just the other day, and he was a little bit frustrated about what the NRS said. But if you're riding on a public road, and most public roads, Matthew, am I right? Basically, most public roads, if they've ever been mapped,
generally speaking, yeah,
pretty much makes them a public road, right? So your sheriff's office has authority to give you a DUI if you're out there toasted, driving your machine, especially if you have misbehaving.
So does BLM, by the way.
Yes.
The Forest Service.
Yes, thank
under
you.
their 43 CFR 811.1.
Well done.
He has the skills, people. He has the skills.
You know.
Well versed.
So the basic thing is to be smart, be safe, and that's what we're here to help people do. It's just to be smart, be safe, be responsible, take responsibility, pack out what you bring in, be prepared for the unexpected, and make sure that you know how to handle your machine before you go out riding. I can't express it enough.
Livestock market online here. Okay.
What's next? Ride Safe, Ride Smart training program components. November 11th and 12th, like we said, we'll be doing an ATV Ride Safe, Ride Smart day camp. This is the first day it's without machines. It's from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Registration's required, so we know how many people to expect. You can go to our website right there, NevadaOutdoorSchool.org, to sign up. And then the following day, we will be doing a hands-on safety certification. So again, if you have a machine or your child has a machine of their own, please bring it. But even if you don't have a machine, that first one right there, just attending camp, you're going to learn a lot of things. What do we need from you? Again, this is not law. This is not law, it's not required, and we're not getting the participation we need. So what I need from all of you in this room is to help us spread the word. I encourage you, go to our website, go through the safety course, whatever. If you have questions about it or the meaningfulness or the quality of the course, please get in touch with us. We need your help spreading the word. We need your help to help us express how important it is for these kids, and that they're going to get world-class training education program from Nevada Outdoor School. We're very, very good at teaching outdoor education. And what we need from you guys is we need buy-in, and we need support, and we need you guys to help us share the message and share the flyers, the Facebook posts, you know, whatever it might be. We need help from this community to show that we think it's important. Nevada Outdoor School, that is my contact, Melanie Urtiaga, NevadaOutdoorSchool.org. Alana Havernick, same thing. You give us a call. How much time do we have?
If we could do another 5, that'd be great.
Okay, all right, let's do 5 minutes. So,
Landed on the one that fell off.
I know.
Big money.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
By the way, we also have some cool Nevada Outdoor School ornaments that we're selling as a fundraiser. If anybody want to pick one up? So, this is our spinning board. You will not believe how much use we have got from this thing over the years, and it has now been recently updated. The third time. We started with golf tee pegs. That didn't work out. Screws were not good. Now we got bowls. It's a whole new thing. It's been repainted. But this is customizable for us. So you saw that those are, take them off. This is going to be for motorized recreation events such as this, or Reno Motorsports, or if we go to, hang out at a dealer one day. Yeah. We're going to talk about OHV safety. We may go to a Earth Day event. Definitely not OHV safety. More of a leave no trace type thing. We're also skilled in that, but it's a completely different audience than this. We might go to a partner event that they want to talk about a certain topic. One was a couple weeks ago. Nevada Gold Mines did an a bicycle safety event, but our take on it and our input was how bicycles interact with OHVs, right, and to keep safe there. So, let's give it a spin. Unless somebody else wants to spin. Does somebody want to play a game?
Landed on
Engine, so.
And we're all adults here, so we're going for the hard questions here. And I just want to point out, we do have stickers because we teach children a lot, and children love prizes.
Everybody loves stickers.
They are Ride Safe, Ride Smart, Nevada Outdoor School stickers, customized by me and literally everyone at Nevada Outdoor School. But yeah. So our hard question is, what are 3 things to consider when starting up your OHV?
Kim, give us an answer.
Equipment function. So, like, tires. I'm still stuck on the tires.
I know, tires are so easy today.
Or your lug nuts.
Oil level?
Yep.
Is it in park? Is it in gear? Do you know
Is it
how
in
it works?
park?
Is it in park?
Yeah.
Are you inside a building? Are you open access? Is there spark? Is there anything underneath your vehicle that's going to catch fire?
Yeah.
Does it have a clutch? You get a sticker. Does it typically tie?
You get a sticker. Woohoo! And you get a sticker.
Yay.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys use T-clock?
We do.
Okay. No sticker for you.
T-clock. Does anybody not know what T-clock is?
What is T-clock?
What's T-clock on it?
Hold on. There's 2 different ones. I have to always say tires and wheels, lights, oil and fuel. See, choke. Guys, I'm forgetting them. It's been a hot minute since I've had to teach this.
I've got it here.
Good. Yes.
So
You do it, Arthur.
you got tires and wheels, controls and cables, lights and electrics, oil and fuel, chain, drive shaft, and chassis.
Yeah. So this is like what you should do before you even start your machine. You go over all of these, so you're thinking like the cables. Like, well, yeah, I've got my cables. How else would I start the machine? No, it's not making sure you have your cables. It's making sure that there's no rips, no cuts, nothing's hanging out underneath that might fall off. Checking your tire pressure or your lug nuts.
Again, these are things you're not going to get. You're not going to get that until you do it hands-on.
Yeah.
Pretty much, right? You're going to read through it, but actually doing it, you're hands-on. Spin it again.
Oh gosh. Under construction. All right. Did you know that your OHV registration dollars are used for trail maintenance? Is that true or false?
Can be true.
Yes. Can be. Okay, that was an easy one. Give us another. I know that. Everybody knows that.
We'll take that one to the ground.
Turn it on. Like I wrote that down. Name 4 vehicles that are considered OHV.
Snowmobiles.
That's 1.
Dirt bike.
Dune
2,
buggy.
3.
Jeeps. Jeeps.
Hold on. But, depending.
Absolutely.
You actually qualify to have a red sticker if they choose to do it, so that's not the part.
Is e-bikes in there yet?
No.
I'm going to LRS something. I don't know the numbers.
All right, let's spin it one more time.
Okay, here we go. Who offers training to gain knowledge of OHV safety?
Nevada Outdoor School.
Can I have one more sticker?
Yeah, you can ask.
Does anybody have any questions for us? Does anybody feel like this is a stupid idea? Like this is not something we should pursue because it's going to be what we pursue with our next OHV safety grant. Getting more people trained, getting people out on the floor, or out.
There's a raised hand. You can.
Yes. Trained, yes.
If my kid passes the online program, can I still force her to take the hands-on?
Yes, please.
Yep.
No, you can still allow her to take it.
You're
also,
the parent.
she's only 6. So, I mean, is it like a hard line of 7?
It's not a hard line. It's really, I guess, I would leave it up to you as a
She'll be doing
parent.
it every year.
Right? Well,
It's a tool.
that 7-year-old age is just, like I said, we've been doing this a long time and we teach a lot of kids and it's kind of hard for them to start comprehending, but some kids are much more advanced. And if they've already had experience, they're already, you know what I mean?
Chewed on her first off-road trip in 6 months. So.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? So somebody like that, definitely, we would definitely make that exception, sure. If it's somebody brand new that's never ever rode, like I said, that 7-year-old is when they start the reading comprehension. Yes.
First, to answer your question, yeah, I think what you guys do is great because I love the fact that you drive around any 2-lane, roll a lot of highway, and there's a quad frontage road right next to it. The question is, do you guys have a very developed snowmobile program?
Not yet. We do not yet. Again, because we keep this
Maybe
going.
these spaces.
Yep, I know.
When you need one.
Yeah. Yes.
As a Winnemucca ranch race kid that got pleasure from bringing my friends out and trying to kill them. Everything he talked about, that's where I tried jumping wherever he went. But I love it. I thank you for doing it. But I like it. It's needed, and yes, absolutely. Let's get a snowmobile component into it because
all we need is the guy that's skilled in it. You know what I mean? Like we can put together the educational, the questions, and all of that sort of stuff, but to be able to actually do it, that's why we need partners like you guys. Because we don't have to always be the expert, right? Not Outdoor School doesn't always have to have the trainer. We don't always have to be the expert or have that. We facilitate with who? How? What's the word?
Partnership.
Partnership.
police officers in Overton are always saying they need some type of safety program. Have you coordinated with them before?
You want me to answer?
Yeah.
So yes, and we have tried to offer a ATV kids safety camp at the Logandale baseball field dirt parking lot next to the Clark County Fairgrounds. The past 3 years in a row, every single year we cancel it because there are no kids signing up for it. And we're not down there to be able to advertise. Like, I send it to Sue. I send it to whoever I know that lives down in Vegas and go, hey, send this to your friends. But yes, so we have, and we've been working with the police department. Like, we're all in one big group chat. They all get the flyers. But we can only do so much being in Winnemucca. Like, I can't drive down to Vegas for the day to hand out flyers. Unless the Q will pay me to. No, he don't look too happy. But yeah, so it's working on the
partnerships.
Thanks. I know I'm the one who started shouting it, so everyone on Facebook Live, I'm the face.
Why don't you guys come down to Vegas? We would gladly come down to Vegas, but we need these partnerships to help us get the participants to come down there. And
so it's lack of participation.
It's lack of participation. Yeah. Connecting to whoever the right audience is that, again, feels that something like this is important.
And then, yes. Can I speak on Logandale and
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yeah.
You do realize, and a lot of people don't understand when we talk about rural Nevada, Wappa Valley only has 10,000 residents in it. It is a very small community. So to get, and I know their registrations from the OHV side of it have increased over the last year. Part of it is due to an OHV grant, but education along the way is what is bringing that up. The other thing to look at is the Clark County Fair, which draws a huge amount of people into that valley. And from the full side, let's figure out a way how we can help educate the younger generation about riding the right way.
Right way.
Because we don't talk to anybody that's not under the age of 18. Because by law, you have to be 16 to drive a vehicle, a full-size vehicle. And so there's that other side. Logandale's small, so Wappa Valley.
Yeah. So yeah, again, we need partnerships. We need people to help us get the participants there. And truly, I think once we get the participants, we really get a role, right? We get a good amount of participants each time. These parents are going to start talking. The parents are going to say, look, this is really, quality safety program. I think it's important. I think you should think it's important too. Gil?
Yeah, so I had a couple of questions. The first one is kind of to the entire group here. Nevada Outdoor School has been the resource for off-road education in the state for many years now, so we rely on them. How do we incentivize individuals to take this online course and the in-person course? Would the community be supportive of us, like, paying the first year's registration if they show you a course completion certificate, something along those lines? But that, at the same time, needs the community's buy-in to say, yes, we're comfortable, paying $20 for our bikes and then having that $20 go back to pay for somebody else's registration that has completed the safety course. Are there any other incentives that would...
On my end with Tread Lightly, I'm in the middle of working on getting some fairly big names in the off-road racing world to volunteer like a day with them, a day training with them. If they complete the course, they'll be entered into a drawing. And then off of that, they can spend a day with a big-time celebrity racer doing off-road stuff and learning directly from them. And then we're working on, of course, like some media-type campaign stuff. So I just wanted to kind of throw that one in there, but I think everybody's doing an awesome. This is so cool. You guys are great.
Thank you.
Second question would be, are there any plans for NOS to continue supporting like some of the national certificates for like Motorcycle Safety Foundation, ROBA, and then you guys already have ASI. So
right, as soon as we're able to get those trained on our staff, then yes.
Then
right now we're relying on our partnership with the Humboldt County Sheriffs, who has those two trainers on staff.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. All right. We have we're about 11:45 right now. I have 3 more people that want to speak. You guys want to take a break, or you just want to pause for it and call it a day? I don't see anybody saying that they really just want to take a break. So that being said, I want to talk about or show some videos for the nature.
Oh, me?
Yeah. And then after that, we're going to have the trail ambassadors speak about what they've been doing this year. And Kevin, if you just want to touch on what you didn't touch yesterday for your group, and then if anybody else doesn't have anything to want to step on, then
I would like to hear from the Lake Tahoe Snowmobile Association, or club, pardon me, and their project.
That's fine.
Cool.
Oh, thank you. It's been a work in progress for a while. Just always seems to be a lot of people to
Hi, my name is Janelle Johnson. I work for the Nevada Division of Natural Heritage. I got my only ATV experience other than riding with Nikhil is 15 years ago. I got my Forest Service ATV license, and then I never went riding again until Nikhil took me out. So.
And all 4 wheels stayed on.
All 4 wheels stayed on. We didn't crash. It was great. But Nikhil was driving, so it's all good. So my experience is not with the OHV community until I started working on this grant. And I have made I'm a botanist, so I specialize in rare plant conservation. But I'm also a community science coordinator, so I'm interested in getting people who are already out doing recreation outside in Nevada to stop and look around and appreciate what's out there and maybe help us collect some information that's scientifically useful. I made this video for something else. It's only 3 minutes long, but it does a very quick overview of the trail.
Hi everyone, this is Cal Johnson with the Nevada Division of Natural Heritage. I've been working on a community science project to encourage OHV users to stop and learn about some of the features of the area that they might not notice otherwise. Links to the trail can be found on our website. I created this condensed paper map for users who prefer paper, but the full version uses Google Earth Online, Redoc, or Phone. In this platform, you can use existing features such as traffic images and info cards, or create your own place-marked lines and polygons. Each feature can include an information box with photos and links to their website. We encourage users to read more about featured species and submit their own observations to the community science website. This trail highlights the natural and human history from plants and animals to geology, hydrology, comstock mining, and water traditional use of every area. The Google Earth platform offers a paper template with the photo, slideshow, and formatted text, or the option to write your own HTML for embedding photos and videos. When following the trail on your phone, the app will show a marker on your position, helping you navigate. One drawback to the platform is that a data connection is required to view the trail. In 2 locations, I created 360-degree panoramas with labels on the landmarks. These are hosted on a separate site that allows you to pan around the photosphere. In phones with GPS and gyroscope, the view will automatically follow the orientation of the phone, allowing users to find the names of people, lakes, and towns. Descriptions can link to videos and audio such as podcasts or an audio version of the description. A future project at Lake Tahoe will feature narrations in English and Spanish so users can listen as they help the program. We hope the information in this trail fosters curiosity and appreciation for our natural areas and gives users a reason to care about conservation. It's easy to see the desert as empty from a distance, but a closer look reveals a rich, diverse landscape full of plants and animals with special adaptations to the harsh conditions. Users can also follow the trail from home, allowing them to take a virtual tour when they can't be there in person. A well-designed trail can lead users to areas you want to highlight while steering them away from sensitive habitats or cultural resources. Because the trail can be edited at any time, Seasonal information about blooming flowers, migrating birds, trail conditions, or safety hazards can be easily updated without the need to print physical signs. Projects can also contain info cards from Google Maps with photos, hours, and contact info. If you would like to learn how to create your own virtual trail, I will be teaching a workshop at the North American Congress for Conservation Biology beginning this July, or watch the Nature Serve Network talk call from February 2022. Thanks.
Okay, that was my very, very quick overview. I have a 3-minute limit. I have the paper maps for the trail. If anyone wants a copy. And one thing I said in the video is that it requires a data connection for it to work. But State Parks has recently started working on a project to make trails like this, virtual interpretive trails, downloadable so you can access all the info when you're offline in a state park where there's no cell service. So we're looking forward to starting that. So, do you have any questions? Yeah?
Are you tracking the number of participants that are doing it, or is there a way for you to do that?
There's no way right now with this platform to track how many people are using it.
We thought it was really neat. I'm just wondering how many other people did. So we'll wait.
Yeah, and when we first applied for the grant dollars, the commissioners were very skeptical and did not understand why this would be of interest to OHV crowd. And then when we came back and showed them the trail, they all said, "Come to my place and make it on my favorite trail." And so I'm doing 2 more. I'm doing one at East Walker between Fletcher, 9 Mile, and Versace area. And I'm also doing one that's not an OHV trail up at Lake Tahoe on the Marlet Lake Flume Trail bike. It's for mountain bikes. So,
Is there anything that the OHV community can do to help move this forward or to improve on it? Which is it just to sign on and to start making trails, or is there something else?
Yeah, and anybody can make trails like this. It's super easy to do. It requires very little programming experience. There's a very simple template you can use to do it. You just plug in some text and some pictures. So you guys can.
I have I'm kind of interested to see what comes out on the other end as we move through this. When a non-motorized, self-identified as a non-motorized recreationist decides to get in their vehicle and then start documenting the road to the trailhead that they want, I wonder if they'll realize, oh my, I am a motorized recreationist first, and are adding to this. I don't know how we can find out on the other side, but I think that would be really interesting. It might help.
Well, and this is all a motorized trail. This is all dirt roads. So this isn't like a hiking trail that you drive to. This is a driving trail. It's 14 miles long. But you can mountain bike, you can ride a horse, whatever.
So,
Janelle, could you talk a little bit about the citizen science aspect of your project and how we can contribute to the data?
So I had another video and I didn't get it to pull up here. We use an app in our office called iNaturalist. It's not our app. It's produced by a partnership between the Cal Academy of Sciences and National Geographic. And basically, when you're out driving around, if you see something interesting, you can take a picture of it, post it on iNaturalist, and it uses some machine learning to compare it to other photos and tries to figure out what the species is. And then it may or may not be able to figure it out, but it posts all of those observations publicly, so other people like me, who's sitting in my office in Carson City, can identify those things. And one of the great things is there's so few biologists in Nevada. The state agencies, the federal agencies, there's just not very many of us specialists. And it's a huge state. There's a huge area. So if we can reach the people who are out in these places already and help us collect information, it can help us see where things are. And one of the things people ask is, but what if I see something and it causes, a trail closure, or I can't do my project here because there's a rare bird that lives here or something. It's good to know where these things are, even if we have to change our plans to protect the resources. It's better to know ahead of time that there might be a conflict with something, instead of waiting until you're halfway through your project and then finding out, oh, we have to stop everything because there's something that needs to be protected here. And the same goes for cultural resources too. And also, sometimes we have things that we think are really rare, and this happened just during COVID. Something we thought was super rare. We had a guy who was his botanist, and he was just out hiking, and he was like, I think I found something that's not supposed to be here. And it turns out we now have this rare plant. It actually goes from out near Railroad Valley all the way down to the Spring Mountains, and so it's much more widespread and less rare than we thought it was. We never would have known that without this guy who was out hiking and took some pictures and sent it to us and said, hey, is this that thing? So.
Is that a bad thing?
What?
Is that a bad thing?
No, because so if you've got something that's super rare and it only grows in one place in the whole world,
Sure.
It's really important to protect that one place,
Sure.
or that whole species will go extinct. But if it turns out that it grows here, and it grows on that mountain, and that mountain, and that mountain way down by Vegas, then each individual population it isn't the only one in the whole world.
Yeah.
It's part of a larger complex. And so if there's a small disturbance that happens near one, not that I'm just encouraging that, but
it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, you have less risk. The more there is of a species, the less risk there is to the whole species going extinct if something bad happens, whether it's a forest fire or whatever, to one patch.
So the Nevada Off-Road Association is in the process of becoming a partner with a group called Onyx, which does a whole lot of trail mapping that you're able to access once you're no longer under cell coverage and what have you. Importing that data into Onyx would be monumentally simple. Once we are a partner, if the state wants to have that available and we can work this out, we would gladly put the up on our platform to have that there as well.
Okay. Yeah, we need to have Bob.
All set?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Joe. And that's in the fire line.
And Joe helped me put up the trailhead sign.
Thanks, Joe.
Oh. You guys need something on the screen?
There's a mic there if you guys need it.
Hello. Hey everybody, my name is Caden Barmore, and this is Joe Seal. We are the recreation technicians for the Off-Highway Vehicles program. We work with McKeel. You might also know us as the Goon Squad, as Matthew likes to call us. You might also know us as the guys with 3 or 4 tires on the ground at one time. So, basically, this program's been going for about 1.5 years. We are completely funded by a grant from the OHV Commission. When I was first brought on, it was to monitor 23 sites along the Eastern Sierra, provide some visitor use surveys and infrastructure reports to the land managers, and just kind of be the face of Nevada OHV and be boots on the ground. Since then, this program has absolutely exploded. We were refunded in December, and we have expanded statewide and really started focusing on community work with partners, land managers, clubs, organizations, and really just trying to show that the state office has boots on the ground and is actively helping and supporting OHV projects throughout Nevada. We've had an extremely busy year. We've done everything from, well, in the last 1.5 years, we've done infrastructure assessments with BLM up in Black Rock. We've helped out, or we attended a Humboldt County safety class, a safety course with the Humboldt County Sheriff and the Nevada Outdoor School. We have worked with Forest Service providing recon north of Elko, the Forest Ranger Trail outside of Ely. We are continuously working in Goldview with Friends of Goldview, Southern Nevada BLM, and also working with the Cocopelli Club down there, a sighting north of Mesquite on Flat Top Mesa. We are all over the place. Let's see, we're going to to the Hump and Bump in a couple weeks. We represented the state office for the Tri-State Jamboree that was in St. George, and represented Nevada in that, and that was a really cool opportunity. So yeah, I mean, basically, long story short is if you guys have projects and you need that, you need an extra set of hands or whatever, let us know, because that is what we're here for. We are here to support you guys. We are here to talk about grants, to kind of help build that one voice that everyone was talking about. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. If you guys have any questions for us, that's cool too.
Question. You guys from out of state originally, or from Nevada?
I've been in Nevada for 22 years.
Okay. It was around coming from out of state, Nevada. How does Nevada OHV, the scale of what we have, and the resources we do have available, how did that impact you compared to where we grew up from Nevada? So.
What I will say is that in terms of the state office, having 3 people for the entire state can be a challenge, for sure. We're doing our best. I mean, we've been gone pretty much at least 3 days every week for the past couple months, one way or another. But yeah, no, we really do rely on partners. We really do rely on kind of finding any available resources we can.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Laura, did you want to speak about what you've got going on? If you don't, that's fine.
Does anybody have any questions about the state of Nevada off-highway vehicle marketing?
Is the video you showed us yesterday online now for where we can share it?
I've got to make it public, so
okay.
I'll send it to you once I make it public.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Slogandale, and then we'll close everything up with Snowmobile because it's almost snow season, so we can get excited.
Yeah.
First, again, I'm Kevin Bailey. I am a full-size off-roader, and I come out of rock crawling. So running my Jeep down the trail yesterday was a little rough on me and my rig. But hey, guys, we have a fun thing in our rock crawling college. It's called a wing nut, and you get one when you do something funny. So here's your lug nut. And that's all part of it. If you're not breaking, you're not having a good time. Logandale Trail System is 45,000 acres, 1 hour north of Las Vegas, Nevada. Are we still live so I'll walk over?
Yeah, I was going to say.
There are over 200 miles of trails in the Logandale Trail System. And being the rock crawler, I'm interested in 500 to 750 of those acres. We don't get any snow there, so sorry. It's desert life. COVID-19 being only an hour away increased the visitorship to the Logandale Trails tenfold. And part of that is why I got involved with the Nevada Off-Road Association to get a OHV grant to put some signage up, because there are, as we all talk about, lack of resources, and we're in BLM property primarily. And in order to access the Logandale Trail System, you go down a county road, cross into public land, across Valley Fire State Park, section of Bureau of Reclamation, and then back into the trail system. So there's a lot of different hands involved in different agencies, and there was no travel management plan in place. So there was very little signage. Coming off the county road, There was an 8.5 piece of paper laminated 5 years ago that said Loganell Trails this way. That was the only sign other than on the state highway pointing you to the trail system. So I was the dumb guy that raised my hand and said, I'd like to apply for a grant. And we started out very simple. The grant is covering signage, Carsonites. We were able to purchase a 7x14 trailer that we logoed with OHV commission sticker, Nevada Off-Road Association sticker, some partners that were able to help us get it all together. And we started out, and we're finally, even though we don't have a travel management plan in place, we're putting Carsonites in the ground to direct people to the right way of where to go. Again, I'm a rock guy. I know my land. It's over there. But the people that are out, especially in the UTV, the side-by-side world, they're buzzing up and down all these 200 miles, and there's no directions. There's no GPS coordinates. Self-service is extremely limited in the Logandale Trail system. And I say why I did it and why we are continuing to do this is we're the full-size off-road club. We have the large vehicle. We can get the resources where we need to get it to be able to do the work. But it's our backyard. It's an hour away. I load my rig. I'm there. And I'm having fun. We put on an annual event. This is our 41st year. It's the 14th year that we call Clark County Fairgrounds our home, utilizing the Logandale Trail system. And the very first year, coming up in 2 weeks, is we've invited the side-by-side community to that event. And as the event chair, I've taken a lot of heat for that. This is a full-size event. I said, guess what? We share trails. We're treading lightly. I'm using a lot of cliches, but at the end of the day, we're all using the same public land to have a good time. So I wanted to open that up to the off-road community and say, bring your side-by-side, bring your full-size rig, and let's have fun. Granted, we're geared towards rocks, but I know a few side-by-side owners that are rock crawlers and having a good time. So I appreciate everybody. I appreciate the commission saying, hey, we believe in what you guys want to do. Our club, again, we are a brick and mortar club started in 1979. There's only 5 clubs in Southern Nevada. Everything else is Facebook group. So thanks, appreciate it. It was a great time.
Coming up early. So, as I said a couple times over the weekend, I originally started when I golf road as a probably a preteen. Melanie was talking about not being able to get the controls. I can remember riding a moto ski, and my boots couldn't hit the rails. But it didn't matter because I didn't do it on the handle, so it was all right. So let's talk snowmobiles. What you got?
Snowmobiles are cool. And, and I say that because anybody you talk to anywhere at any point in their life went to somewhere and there was a snowmobile, maybe snow on the ground, and they rode it one time and it's been 30 years. When you meet that person, they're going to tell you about their experience on that snowmobile. It's almost unanimous. I've had a few of those conversations. Today, it's an experience that sticks with people for a lifetime. I made it my lifetime. I love it that much, like many of us do in the recreation community. I am so new to all of this. It's a bit overwhelming hearing people that you're partnering with and working with that can spout off every functional Forest Service code and know every peak and route and historical land closure. It's intimidating to get in front of that. Especially, I mean, I knew Nevada. I grew up in Nevada. I grew up in Winnemucca. I took it all for granted, I would say, because I just thought everybody had the resources we had and could leave from their house and ride dirt bikes at will and then run up the road and go snowmobiling. Like, I just thought people people had that ability until really 3 or 4 years ago when the Sierra Mountain Network went through their travel management plans, and it blew me away that they were just taking swaths of land and with no, what seemed to me, rhyme or reason. It just seemed like they wanted it, they're going to take it. So I jumped to action, got involved with Kevin and the Sierra Snowmobile Foundation. I was relatively new to riding the Tahoe area, mostly Nevada, and then we would go to Idaho to recreate. 2016, I moved to Fallon. Well, before that, I moved to Fallon, but 2016, I stopped going to Idaho so often and riding up here and started realizing some of the issues, whether it be the Nevada side or the California side, they kind of face the same thing. Mount Rose is one particular one in Nevada that it's the first place I rode up there, and it was so tiny to me. And then I got up on top, and the guy that I was with, I started asking him, well, I want to go over there, and they're like, you can't. There's like 5 wildernesses in between here and there, and I didn't really understand it. So the Sierra Snowmobile Foundation came up, and I started learning a lot. And because I started riding up there, I joined a Facebook group of some other people so I could meet some people and get to know where to ride, where I can, where I can't. And we've talked a little bit about brick and mortar clubs. With that Facebook group, it kind of became the hub of conversation of where we could go, who you could link up with, who you could partner with to go ride a new little area that was able to be rode in. And in 2019, the guy that started the page, myself, and a couple other individuals formed the Lake Tahoe Snowmobilers Club, which brick and mortar, I guess maybe we don't have a clubhouse, but it's taking a Facebook group and putting a name and a group and a paid membership behind it, because a lot of the issues that came up early in the travel management plans is they didn't know the Forest Service, the land managers, they didn't know who to call. A lot of the clubs that were in that area had disbanded, aged out, and so we formed a club. We didn't know what we were doing. All these acronyms, like a lot of people, I stumble on them. I don't know them, but I'm learning them, and it's a challenge I've come to find out I enjoy. It's a great way. I enjoy networking, and this room and this community is amazing to network with because you get to meet people from. I don't have a lot in common with the rock crawler community and stuff, but we're all out there to pursue the same thing, is to get away from people and get away from work and enjoy what we do. And then because we enjoy that, now here we are, meeting new people, working even more, and taking on even more responsibility. And it just kind of drove myself into this position. I'm now the president of the Snowmobile Club. We're up to about 200 members in the area. We serve both Nevada and California membership. We have projects on the drawing board for both sides of the state. And then this year, we finally got our ducks going in the same direction, and we're able to apply for a Nevada OHV grant. I became the face, if you will, or I think, hey, that guy, we need a snowmobile guy, and I'm like, I didn't even know what the OHV Commission did. I joined a year and a half, 2 years ago. I was a guy that was like, why the hell did I buy my sticker? Like a lot of us probably were, maybe not specifically in this room, but a lot of users. Where's the money going? Why do I have to have the sticker? Who decided that we needed stickers? It's Nevada. We do what we want here. So that was in my mind. The opportunity came up to join the commission. Sure, why not? And then now my club applied for a grant to put some kiosk and signage and information up on that Mount Rose corridor that is a checkerboard intersection of user conflict and has been for a long time. We've talked a lot about COVID here. We've all been impacted by it. Myself, I like to run up there. Mount Rose is a close, easy. They do what they can to keep the road open, and we like to go up there. Except for the last couple of years, there's 5,000 cars up there, and a lot of people just don't know what they can do up there. You got human-powered sides that thought that it was all for snowshoeing and hiking, and then you got OSB users that
they know where they can ride or they don't, and they go wherever they want, and creates that pain point and that conflict. And I was involved in a few little ones. I mean, anytime you're out there, I had always done my best to avoid them until I started this outreach and this work, and now it's to educate. So I will stop and take my helmet off and chat with it, ski pole shaking at my face, and try to educate if it's mutual and they're willing to receive the information I have. I'll give them any resource I can. But there's a lot of those incidents on snowmobiling. Everybody wants to go up there, snowshoe, and feed birds, and it to be quiet. And lo and behold, here comes a snowmobile up right where they're feeding the birds, and they're like, hey, this is our side. But it's an education component at that point, where it's not. It's everybody's side. So our goal this year is to get the kiosk up there. There's just a wealth of work that needs to happen up there and across the state of Nevada for snowmobile resource, access, information, education, and I look forward to taking it on. I'm 3 years into this journey where I don't run away from the people. I'm coming here and doing this. So partnership-wise, I ask everybody's help, because a lot of the snowmobilers, I will say, we don't involve ourselves with this, because as I saw it for a long time, I'm like, if we're here, we ride on stuff that melts away and goes away, and nobody knows we're here. If we clean our stuff up and respect where we're riding, which you hope everybody gets educated as they're getting into the sport. A lot of the things we're seeing now is I was raised in it, so I know all the little nuances where you can go down, anybody with a subpar credit score and above can go buy the latest snowmobile or side-by-side, and literally in 15 minutes put themselves in positions that they have no business being in their entire life. And there's nobody there to stop them. There's especially in Nevada, there's no education to tell them of the risks and the dangers and the hazards that are involved with snowmobiling. They hop on the thing and go. I want to bring this up because it's something in the avalanche community, in the education community. Ruby Mountains, Lamoille area is a notoriously beautiful, dry snow, high, steep, challenging terrain that we as riders, prefer to go find. The entire area there is essentially avalanche terrain, where as an educated, savvy rider, you assess the situation, you make your ride plan based off the conditions for the day. 9 times out of 10, if you do a proper trail assessment and condition assessment, you'll rule out even entering Lamoille riding area. There's really no safe way to mitigate your avalanche exposure in that canyon, and there's been, I don't know if there's anybody here from that side of the state, but almost yearly, I would say somebody dies up there from an avalanche. They just had one, I think 2 seasons ago, father and a son, where the avalanche occurred, hit the frozen lake, and actually turned the entire slab of ice, and then slid the gentleman sitting on the lake. And that's, if you're not familiar with that canyon, you run up the road, the lake's froze, you park on the road on the lake, and then everybody plays in the avalanche terrain. And the only place for it to go is down onto that lake. It's just an education component that I think, outreach, a sign at the trailhead, the OHV Commission approved grant funding for some snow ranger access up there. As much as, again, I use the outdoors to get away from people. As much as I don't like law enforcement there, that's the first people I want there when something goes wrong. So there's a balance. But areas like that, for 50 years, people have been going up into Elko or in Lamoille Canyon riding, and relatively unaware of the risks of avalanches and things like that. So partnerships, Nevada OHV does a great job with Sierra Avalanche Center, funding projects they have. We partnered with them every one of each month during the riding season on the 3rd Saturday of every month. We have a group meetup from an education component We have a start time where in the morning we'll have a trailhead meeting, and we usually have some sort of Sierra Avalanche Center has come and talked about things they have going on. We always like to have the Avalanche Center there at the beginning of the ride to give some sort of education component of the thing to the ride, and then, you know, as we learned yesterday, group rides with an array of people can be challenging, so we try to cover all those the best we can. Everything that the OHV community does translates directly to the snow. I didn't see it for a long time. It never addressed to me, but you know, now it's definitely clear in my vision. But it translates directly to the snowmobile side of things. So I appreciate the partnerships. I look forward to more. I have a hand raised back here.
Hi, Scott.
Hello.
Kim here. We first met when I was a Forest Service Recreation Staff Officer, and I was managing the Bridgeport Avalanche Center. And we discussed a little bit about snow rangers. I wanted to touch on that. So you were mentioned that there was apprehension about Lake Tahoe Snowmobile Club helping us out, doing some trainings, and then us kind of working together to create a good Aggie program, a training opportunity, maybe a swap of some sort, just to kind of get some awareness, because that area really is interested in opening up winter recreation as part of their tourism, right? That they don't just shut down in winter, right? So recently, heard through some of my brothers in Forest Service that the Bridgeport Avalanche Center has gotten to the point where when I was there, it was make it or break it, because it was so small. You had Sierra Avalanche up north and then Eastern Sierra down south, right? So they're going to blow it up. It's going to get bigger. And so my question to you is, with snowmobile clubs, how can we help explain the purpose? The snow ranger purpose is permitting and education. The Met Tech, which is the science side of snow, is what will help us create more of that science, more of that data that we need to prove impact or no impact, as well as the education on the Abby part. How do you think? How can we help? I feel like there's a disconnect somewhere there.
Yeah, there is. Sticker education. I'll start there, because I went for a long time not knowing what it went to, cussing it at times, and then that I began putting it on solely for the purpose so where I didn't have to talk to those guys at the trailhead why I did or didn't, or where I was from or why I'm there. I'd rather want to mitigate it. I think education, from the standpoint of
I know, right? I did this to you. I did this to you.
Education, like, yeah. I hate to say it that way, but like I said a minute ago, the first time when stuff goes wrong, those, hey, I seen the Rangers, you know, they were down on blah, blah, blah lake. You go get them on the situation, you go for the parking lot. It's that thing, you don't need them until you need them.
Yeah.
It's hard because there is so much, we'll say, land closures that are obviously, in my opinion, unwarranted. Then they're there to enforce those, where somebody may have been riding there for 30, 40 years, and now this guy stands in between him and where he used to be able to ride, and he might not know why, which puts, you know, the land agency at odds with us as users. There just hasn't been, I think there just hasn't, especially up here, and I can't speak historically just because
Well, I would like to offer to create an opportunity where the Commission and the Bridgeport Avalanche Center and the Tahoe Snowmobile Club and any other folks would like to come together so that they can explain themselves and you can ask questions.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Whatever, and that's we're that.
Okay.
You know, that group now that hasn't really been there.
I know, right? You're all good. I'll work on that, okay?
Yes.
That's my promise.
Yes.
Good.
Hope I kind of answered that. Anybody else?
Awesome. Thank you. I think that we have crossed the finish line. That's right? You good? No? All right, so take notes. You should see my laundry. If I take notes, I stick in my pocket and then run for the laundry. So, that being said, a couple things. Next week you are likely to see in your email inbox a survey that will talk a little bit about what we have going on or what we did here this week. I am a firm believer that you never learn anything when you've done something right. You learn something when you've done something wrong. So what we're going to ask in that survey is, what did we do wrong this week? Where do we have room for improvement? What would you like to see? Should we choose, pardon me, English is my primary language. Should we choose to move forward and do this again next year? Just real quick, as a show of hands, anybody want to do this again next year? Okay. So yeah, you will see a survey on that. We were going to hand it out, but since it's Federal Friday and we have a lower than normal participation, we're not going to do that. On my list of things to do, because I am a member of every brick and mortar club in the OHV community in the state of Nevada, on my notes, join Tahoe Snowmobile Club. So you'll see that shortly. Let's see what else. Talking about trail stuff, we didn't really get into mapping all as much this time, but the Mapping Collaborative has now gone over to the next level, which is the release. And McKeel, somebody help me, what's the name of the website?
Nevada Trail Finder.
Nevada Trail Finder.
NVTrailfinder.com.
Thank you. So that's kind of a neat thing. Yesterday on our 3 hours, our ride, we had somebody that made a wrong turn on the trail, not the people that did the tour of the valley at the end. But one of the things that occurred to me, and sort of the problem with the trail, the electronic trail systems that we have on different apps here in the state of Nevada, is that if you are not completely prepared for the area you're going to be working, you get on the other side of that hill. Once you put it into your phone or your tablet or whatever, it's all you got. Because there really aren't maps. I'm a fan of paper maps. We are working on a project here in Douglas County to do a little bit of that for the motorized and mechanized community and pedestrian community as well. But I put up here on there, if you want to take a look at it before you leave today, that's a Lewis County ATV map, Lewis County, New York. Tug Hill, anybody that watches the news in the winter when the snow, they're taking it out, like that Mount Rose snow a couple of years ago. That's every year up there. They do a very good job courting the off-road OHV community as much as you can in the state of New York. I'm not going to get into the laws there because they are old. But they do a nice job of mapping. And this is something comparable that we're going to put out. All right, that is nearly it. The last thing I'm going to take, or I'm going to say before I say goodbye and thank you, is, again, I learn every day. And on my notes here is a quote from Kevin Baker. COVID is the window to outdoor recreation 10 years from now. So everything that we see over the last 18 months-ish, whatever it's been since ever the plague entered our vernacular, at that peak during that window of time is exactly right. 10 years from now, that's going to be the norm. Right now, that's the outlier. I don't think that's the case. I think in 10 years, we need to be prepared. That's why we need to have a holistic approach to trail management, trail stewardship, and education between now and that 10-year window. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
On your way.
Okay. Is that NVTrailfinder.com?
Yes. So, Kevin, that's that